So, hello and welcome to LastofAvari's livestream, and we will be recording some more of my QBASIC air quotes game, air quotes closing. And yeah, let's close Winamp, let's switch to actual IDE, if you can call it that, because it's pretty primitive, but you can do some stuff in it. And first of all, I've changed a couple things, mainly this block. As you can see here, it looks quite a bit different, and that's because now I have different title screens, or switching title screen. Hey Specky, nice to see you. Good afternoon to you, and actually mostly good evening, because it's 20 o'clock over here. As you can see, the idea is that these two screens are being displayed for like 12 seconds, and I found one thing that I can use like that. It's not primary use, but yeah, it works. You can use it in construction on timer, but it's actually amount of seconds and not just integer seconds, but floaty points one. And yeah, when this time, as you can see here, reaches its target time, which is plus 12 seconds, we're switching the screen, and if it's more screens than we have, then we setting it back to 0, and it looks basically like this. Yeah, it's 8 PM because we are not switching times twice a year, like I was saying before. In Belarus, we stopped doing that like a couple, maybe years ago. I don't remember exactly when, but quite a bit ago. And as you can see, you have 12 seconds. You can't really read everything in 12 seconds, but that kind of means that if you are in the need of reading the other screen, it will not take too long to switch to other screen. So I think it's actually pretty nice. As you can see, I've put top score here on the title screen, and now my copyright notice is being displayed for more than a couple of seconds while blocks are listing, and you have my email address and yeah, website and all that stuff. So that's nice. And the other thing is that I want theoretically maybe add is to save a top score to a separate file. Maybe I could save it to just like one config file, but I don't really need that, since I don't really have a lot of settings to save. So yeah, first of all, I wanted to check out, because I remember that I'm probably not really saving the top score if you are quitting back to menu by hitting escape. Top score only saves if you are failing or completing the game, and that's not exactly ideal. It's not a bug, but that's just something that I wasn't thinking about initially. So yeah, I think it's about here. Go to restart, and instead of restart, which is happening somewhere around here, as you can see. Well, I can actually set top score right here, right? But I need a comparison for that, because before saving anything, I would want to be sure that my top score is not actually lower than what is saved. So let me maybe make a file, because we will need a template for that with just one single only number. The other configuration file, which is not really configuration since it's one number, 2 is DC levels, which stores amount of levels, and here we will simply call it top score. Exactly 8 characters, so that will certainly do, and let's set it maybe to about 1000 maybe. It's not hard to beat. You basically need to pass through a couple levels maybe, so it's like really easy. But in that way I will be able to test it, and I want to copy it to actual development folder, and I believe Ctrl F4 is file system refresh in DOSBOX. Yeah, I see that in a console log. So now I guess I will be able to actually do that, and to do that we will copy this. I want to put it somewhere, probably here. And instead of DC levels, we will be putting out top score. Yes, so instead of that, player top score, I believe. Let me check it out. I'm not initializing here, so that's kind of okay, because I don't want to instantly reset it. It wouldn't make any sense. Sometimes I'm not really noticing it. So it looks kind of alright. Here I have blocks, here various parts of the level. So let me see, in the end it should be around here. Yeah, that's it. Maybe I want to make actual procedure, like a module for it, because I'm using it in at least 3 different places. So maybe that's a good idea, and call it maybe top score. For some whatever reason, some of my names are actually of procedures in uppercase. That's alright. So let's see what I need. And do I need it like that? I would want to share all that, right? So copy it and edit, new sub, indeed top score, and I want not this, actually this. Now I need to share all this crap. Share player score, top score, and maybe we can even compare it inside of here. And It doesn't sound, yeah, it doesn't sound terrible. But now I need to probably transfer a writing part of the score, right? So yeah, so I copied that. I don't need that anymore. I will switch it like this. At some point I will need a better loose and windscreen, obviously, and should I even bother to save top score if you are just quitting because you skipped it? Probably that's not a terrible idea. Oh yeah. Hi, Admira Tofu and Faki? Or how it's supposed to be read? I don't even know. You are free to correct me, but right now I'm adding one little thing to my QBASIC game, which is probably not very useful to anyone, but I'm doing that for my own maybe weird sort and type of amusement. So I need this. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, actually, to really try it here and correct this command. And we are starting here, so do that. And get it right here, and now we will actually read it here, because we are calling it in a few different places. So here I need some temporary probably some kind of temporary score, right? Or at this point it's already red, so actually not so much. So that's alright. But instead of just doing this, for output, and was I saving something to the actual file? I don't remember, because I want to look how to save things into files. Probably just print one, and yeah, that. That should work. And hi, userman, the second one. Yeah, it appears to be needed because I want to get these couple variables from my main program. And when I do this sort of thing, they're indeed being called from the program, because I don't want to have a bunch of parameters, because not in this one, but at least in some of my modules or procedures, I have quite a bit of stuff being processed, and I don't want to get the whole array of data. For example, when I'm printing my world, here's a sub that is doing that. As you can see, I want to have my colors for blocks. That's basically a level parser that outputs a level and does it in a few different colors depending on the block. And initially I was using QBASIC, but then I switched to QBASIC because it's actually working quite a bit faster, and it's especially noticeable when we are building the screen, because I don't have delays right here in this part, as you can see, and it's still not super fast, but it's bearable. So yeah, let me see once again. Yeah, I want to read it initially, and I don't want to read it in other places. Then I just use in the variables. So let me see if that's actually working. Oh yeah, we read 1000. Now I need to beat this 1000, and before you haven't seen this, this is a DOSBOX. So if you are looking something on the screen which is lagging for some weird reason, that's just DOSBOX plus OBS, which can cause sometimes insufficient amount of screen updates. So here is a little game which is not particularly complicated. I'm not a musician, so these little blinks are just basics of sounds. So you would have at least a little bit of feedback. That's end guy is enemy. It is not really finished for now. Well, it's initially supposed to be randomly moving around, and if you are getting too close, then he should actually track you. At this point I haven't implemented this second part, so it's only freezes when it's getting too close to you, which is nice for debugging purposes. A current build of the game you can download from my website, which is LastofAvari.com, and there I have a page about Darkcrawler. So that was 400 roughly. I actually could go back and carefully, these little things, % signs, are traps, so if you run into them you'll die. Basically they are static enemies, but enemy has some logic, and these guys are just here on the level. The levels are just plain text files, so you can edit them yourself. And if you was thinking that I am recording from actual DOS machine, no, that's not actually correct. Because I don't have a DOS computer separately, and I don't have capture cards, so even if I could do that something, yeah, like that, it would be too messy, and I don't really have a free space. As you can see, I have already made a few levels just for testing purposes, but these ones are not terrible, and every other level is inspired by retro video games. So as you can see, Manic Miner is obviously based on Manic Miner, here, mining guy. Not fully cloned, because obviously here I have 40 by 20 character resolution, because I have stats on the bottom, and I can't use 2 lines of characters on the very bottom, because the screen would scroll, so just outputted some lines in color. That is VGA mode, 320 by 200 by 256 colors, which are only being used for these fancy-ish kinda gradients and intro sequence. I guess I could get rid of this bar and leave the bar in the beginning, so you could actually have some different background color, because in this mode you do have 256 colors, but you only have one background color which is unchangeable, so that kinda sucks. So I want to get around, probably. Technically I'm already over 1000, but let me get to the next level. As you can see, I have a few lives, obviously, and if you die, then you respawn in your original coordinates, because every level file stores not only level data, but initial coordinates of player and the enemy. The only bad thing about it is that currently I don't really... yeah, you can stuck if, for example, you wasted some keys and you can't unlock the door which stores amount of stars which is required to get through the level. Well, in that case you can only quit and lose all lives, so that's kinda not exactly fair, but... bright L is a level exit. You can trigger it by running into it if you have enough stars, and while you can make a level where you have more stars than you actually need to collect, I guess it would be more obvious if you would have only amount of stars that you actually need to collect. But yeah, that's basically enough, and at this point it still should work, since I added the save of top score in the restart section. So let me see if it works. 1900. And yeah, it works. Right now I'm just reading data from screen. Obviously, if I had the screen which would be larger than the screen area, and if I would need to scroll this stuff, then I would need to operate with the actual arrays. But since I only have this 40 characters by 20 characters plain area for exactly these purposes, for simplifying stuff, I'm just reading with the screen function. I can show you that somewhere here. Yeah, as you can see, that's kinda messy, but it works. Here I have different directions, WASD, and for each directions I'm checking different blocks. So if you are running into enemy, then you're losing a life. If you don't have lives, you are failing, and if you have lives, then you are resetting. Well, first your position clears, and then you are resetting to this level starting coordinates, but you don't lose any stars. Hi Visa, nice to see you. And for example with doors, as you can see, if you will try to run into a door without a key, then obviously nothing will happen. It's basically just a wall. But if you have keys, then their amount will be decreased and you will destroy the door by running through it. So that's the idea, and now I need to see if it's working correctly. So if I will get not enough points and will queue it, then it's not supposed to be overwriting, because I'm checking that stuff if everything is done correctly. So let me see. Yeah, it's still okay. And as you can see, the colors are not amazing, because I'm trying still to mostly use basic 16 colors, but that's the best I could come up with, since I wanted to have a different color scheme for copyright and author information. It's kinda bluish, not exactly bluish. This sort of cyan is not exactly amazing, yeah, but I wanted to make it slightly bluish, and a couple of default blue colors are either too dark or too saturated, so yeah. That's enough for now, and now I want to have some serious things, right? Because obviously we have enemy logic, and I could just increase amount of enemies and make and leave them as dumb as they are currently, but I kinda at this point want to have just one enemy, but maybe a different one. So here you have your randomized movement, and it's better looking when you have tight tunnels, because basically I have this system for prevention of random movement with just basically staying in the same place. So the idea is, if you are in this kind of corridor, you cannot move in the opposite direction. So if you are moving to the left, you can't move right, and you can only move right at this point if there is no other way. So if you are stuck, well, at least you'll be getting back from that point. So that's kinda makes sense, right? Here I have my down, and I need to make it more visible, because it's slightly kinda not super obvious. Yes, something like this. Obviously for cases, for directions, you can't move diagonally. To make things easier, as you can see here, I'm checking directions. Actually, right now enemy can't run into a trap, which is kinda unfair, right? Oh, no, he actually can, right? Because it's empty space with all this crap. And here we have this little trigger, so theoretically he can run into a trap, and then we have this basic construction supposedly. . Yeah, when you're starting is if AI is live flag is 0, then we are simply executing that to the very bottom, and everything's supposed to be just frozen. Well, I'm not sure about basic naming standards, because I'm not really a programmer. And of course no one uses at this point QBASIC, since it's DOS-based thing, and it would be nice to have some things from visualbasic.net, like for example lives minus equal 1 instead of lives equals lives minus 1, but you know, we can at least copy paste here. That's already something. With Control Insert and Shift Insert, which by the way still work in modern Windows, at least in Windows 7, and XP and every other one. Haven't tested it. Oh yeah, I need to silence my phone. It's currently in vibration mode, which is not ideal. So here we have these cases, and as you can see, if you are getting closer than 8 characters in any of these accesses, or how do you call them in plural? As you can see, I am having this terrible Eastern European accent, so yeah, I'm from Belarus, if you haven't noticed. So my English is not exactly, yeah, super good. And it's only fair that I'm spelling it with R. So we need to compare these things inside, right? And since we have actual player coordinates already, we can compare them instead of making a bunch of these things, right? Because we are not concerned about types of blocks at this point. So player Y and X and if distance to player Y is lower than distance to player X, then we are doing one thing, and if that's exactly opposite, then we're doing the other thing. I need a bit of water. So let me make some comments. Maybe something more obvious and visible. So and it's nice that I have isolated this part of the program. It's not intended for to be used in different parts of the program, but as you can see, it's a huge block of select cases and ifs and thens and else's. So having it in basically the same bunch of lines of code would be quite messy and would make it almost impossible to find things which I want to find. So now we want to actually check or actually I can base it upon this. Yeah, it's still possible. So if distance to actually I have like two directions per axis, so right now it's ABS, so it's okay. Yeah, that's better. So I indeed need to now make a decision about in which direction go, since higher or lower. And to see that, we need to have this, but without ABS. So if this number is above 0, then player is higher than you, and you have to go higher as well. And here we want to have a select case. Something doesn't matter for now. I just want to set up a construction and select, and here we'll have an our block analysis, because obviously we have different blocks in between of our player and ourselves. So like yeah, like this, and what was that? Trap, I believe. Yeah, I want to be able to read types of blocks at this point, so I need to add a whole bunch of stuff more. For now, just have this. So equals enemy y minus 1. Oh yeah, of course, trap, but I am not actually sharing the scrap. So it's not exactly working. Yeah. So shared drop, and I don't need colors, I just need various types, so we can copy this part from here, just this part. Oh yeah, and replace this with a whole bunch of these blocks. I don't want to go over blocks that you should be able to pick up, because that will make me to actually look into arrays of data to be able to put them back after the enemy will pass. So for enemy I will be treating it like walls. And by the way, this is hunting the player part, and the other part is indeed randomized movement. It's not exactly aligned, right? Haven't noticed that initially. Okay, so that's mostly alright, right? And here we don't need any AI select since we're not randomizing anything. And here we just need AI alive with 0 to be able to skip it. That's very, very simple. And yeah, that's mostly it, because he's not intended to go anywhere else. He can go through the space to player, or he can run into a trap while trying to follow player. That's not super intelligent, but it works, and right now I just want to test it and see how will it look like. So the other block is exactly the same, but plus. And yeah, I forgot about this, obviously. Yeah. But I need to name it differently, right? How do I call it? Because it's doing kinda the same, but not super the same things. Maybe like that direction. That's not too much. I don't need to actually repeat it. I can put it ahead. Yeah, that's better. So now I can delete it here. It's more suitable there, and probably it would be more consistent if I would have it like this. Yeah, a lot of and ifs, just like usual. And so moving Y, moving X. Oh yeah, I forgot. That's not correct at all, because I need double of that. Then we will move in Y, but before we will move vertically. We'll need to have this. So maybe even not this, but to player Y. is yeah, more than 0, then we have or actually if it's less, how's to start better. Yeah, like that. And then we will have actual construction here, and here we actually need to start to scan this. So something like this. Goes here and actually minus. So that's one part, and then else. Go over. And here we will need to mostly copy that, but switch the direction. Since we are going lower, that means we are increasing coordinates. Yeah, that looks actually much better. Else, do I have my end-if in appropriate place? I think I don't. Like that. So that's one pair, basic pair, because right now we are not destroying the player, but I will add it later. I just need to copy it and see how it looks like for no, not here. Can I undo that? Not like that, not with copy paste. So it's kinda useless. Okay, fine. I can do that manually, you know. So like that maybe. What part of those ifs? So it should be around this line. Yeah, okay, so now we have to check X. here we go, let's be consistent, so it's to the left and then to the right. Here we just swap in axes. And now we need the part that makes player slightly less alive, right? Yeah, looks like that. Yeah, here we're not supposed to move actually. So I probably can't really run away, since at this point he will be checking you, so don't get too close. Is it direction independent? Yes, I think it is, since we're not changing any sort of stuff like that. So maybe if I am lucky, now it should make some actual sense. Let's save, by the way, because I haven't saved a program, this program, in quite a while. And sometimes things crash, so yeah, it's nice to have some sort of backup. So to me that looks half decent, but I need to check one thing. I don't think I'm calling a sound there. Yeah, this one. Because I'm calling it if I'm running into an enemy or trap, but I'm not doing that there, I think. Let me see. Yeah, I think that's sensible. So that will be the first thing that we will do. And I forgot that I need this part actually for vertical movement. Do I have access to world player start? I think I don't. Oh, that's an array, right? So I think I shared that in the actual main program. Let me see. Somewhere around here. Yeah, indeed. Okay, now crossing fingers and duplicate definition. So I haven't noticed something. Oh yeah, cause blocks. Let's push it to block section. In this case, it will be more obvious, and save again. And now it's actually working, but let's see. So we are here, the enemy is there. It should get closer instead of just hey. So is it working? I don't think so. I think I'm doing the opposite thing. At least it looks like this. Lol. Well, at least nothing crashes. So let me see it again. So distance to player. That's one thing. If distance to player y is lower than distance to player x, let's maybe add temporarily some stuff for debugging. Where do I have a space? 20, like 21. And maybe it will fit. not writing it in the right place. Maybe. Or do I? 21. Oh yeah, I'm overwriting it with that probably. Where can I put it? Actually. Let me see like that. Oh yeah, of course, I'm an idiot. You're supposed to get closer, so I don't have to override the playing field. So and y is like that. And now it's not moving at all. Yeah, that guy is not tracking me, so I screwed something up. Maybe I'm not really comparing the appropriate directions, and I can't really tell if it's opposite or not, because right now it should be when I'm moving horizontally. Yeah, it's even more broken there. Let me see. The horizontal part is probably completely funked up. Distance to player XD. Okay. And I have checked that right there. So if it's positive, then the enemy is to the right side. It's supposed to go to the left. Yeah, so here go left. Okay. I'm checking stuff to the left. That's right. What about here? It's also okay. Here it's enemy x -1. And here it's +1 because it's well, right. Here I don't have to actually track previous coordinates, but in case with switching this logic, it could be useful. Actually, for now, since I don't know what to do, I can just do that. Move it there. Here I could use this. No, it's not enough space. I need to make it shorter. It's just staying on the same place, even though I'm obviously closer. So it should be moving, but it's not moving. And I think I'm doing what I should be doing, but that's not obviously true. So when it does move, it moves in the opposite way. Maybe this thing is actually not moving, not testing it correctly. Mm. Yeah, that can be actually the actual thing that I wanted to change. So like that, maybe. I'll leave it here for now. Now let's see. So now it's going in the opposite direction. Wait, yeah, it destroyed itself, so traps work. That's nice. Actually, I wanted to test it also, but for these purposes we want something different. So let's get from the bottom, so he would avoid traps. So let's see. It's not even pathfinding, you know. It's just moving into appropriate direction, and if you're stuck into a wall, then it's okay. You just stay in there. But the thing that I'm trying to track is that it doesn't move at all. It shouldn't be staying in the same place, especially if if the enemy is in tracking mode or hunting mode. Hey Richard. Right now I'm stuck with this basic AI, which is always the worst part. Why is it even acting like that? Well, I'm trying to do pathfinding, and the thing is, it's supposed to just randomly move if you are not too close, and if you are too close, then it's supposed to follow you. But if you are close, it's either doing nothing or just moving in the opposite direction. So at first I want to make it move every time, if it can move, and then we're supposed to figure out why is it opposite direction, because you see that I'm comparing there on the top. Here I'm getting the direction, so this number is representing how many blocks is in between the player and the enemy. Obviously it can be positive and negative, so I am pushing it through ABS function to get just a number. And here I want kind of the same thing, but I have to track direction. So for example, should I go higher or lower, or left or right? So I have to have this negative or positive numbers. And here, as you can see, if that amount of blocks in between you and the enemy is lower than 8, then yeah, we are looking which direction to go. So if you are closer to the enemy vertically, then we are going vertically, and if you are closer horizontally, that's else, yeah, right here, then we are moving horizontally. For example, here. Oh yeah, by the way, I already spotted one thing, so that's nice. Oh no, it's not spotted. That was alright. So if we are going lower, we are obviously checking what's on the bottom. If it's a free space, then we are going there. As you can see, enemy coordinates change. And then if it's a trap, then the AI is destroyed and we are skipping it. If it's a player, then player coordinates reset to default level location. And instead of doing that, what's happening here? Yeah, instead of doing that, here you can see some debug information. For the moment, you can see that it's simply going away. So yeah, that's kind of not what it's supposed to do. It prioritizes Yeah, it's not supposed to go like that. And it's not moving if I have this on 0 at all. Let me see, maybe that's actually it. What if I just invert it here? Let me just try that for the moment. Now, can I push it in the other direction? Yes, so now that works. So that was the beginning of the right idea, and I mean, I can just like basically just invert stuff, you know. If he's running away from me, then I'll just like, oh yeah, and I now remember why I wanted to have this, because it's indeed supposed to be closer, like in a box, not just by one direction, because it would ruin. So let me see now. Will it work or not? Not exactly. So let it leave for the moment. Being, and if we are getting closer, then what's happening? Okay. That's silly. Yeah, I mean, I could just invert the parts of program what I'm doing, but I wouldn't understand why it is not doing things correctly. But yeah, I could make it work, I guess, by reversing stuff. I will not get any understanding from that, but at least it will work. That's not a good way of doing things, right? When you are fixing stuff and you don't know why it is fixed. So I could just like do that. Let me see, maybe I just where y minus ny, so if that's 5 and that is 10, oh yeah, I'm actually, yeah, that's it. So I want to relabel that. Indeed, I haven't noticed that, and I mean, I'm not pretending like I'm a professional programmer. That's not correct at all. That's why my YouTube playlist with these recordings is called Buddha Code, which is not exactly professional code. Lower, higher. So like that. And let's reverse here, and now maybe it will be working correctly. By the way, I have added one more level, and I guess I could show you the level structure. It's described in the README file, which you can download from my website in the program zip archive. So it's like minus, oh no, not here. Yeah, here it's left like that, and here I want to do that, and let me see. Oh yeah, now it works. It's not particularly intelligent. So it can't really go to the right or to the left. It's if it's stuck. What's about vertical following? No, it's not still right. Maybe I accidentally ruined some stuff. I forgot this. Yeah, it's supposed to be only inverted on one side. So like that. Plus plus and minus and that's not correct. Oh yeah, of course, that's why. Because it was inverted before, right? So plus plus and that's less, so that's minus minus. So let's see if it can go my direction. Maybe. Let's check at least something. So it can follow me like that. Now I just have to correct my switching logic. Because it will be stuck like that, because it wants to decrease its up to or down to 0, and obviously it can't do that quite yet. Maybe. Oh, now it should move vertically, right? Because x is already 0. And the vertical part is not exactly working. More. Okay, so that's alright. Maybe I have no, it's not including it. So if it's exactly the same, then it moves in the opposite direction because it's more than 0. So let's check it out again. Well, that's already better. Obviously still not super ideal, but now it kinda makes sense, right? And obviously, to make a perfect sense, we need pathfinding algorithm of some sort. I'm not sure that I will be bothering with that, because I have never done in my life any sort of pathfinding. And actually, I don't know if you noticed, but I am not super good at math or algebra or things like those. So I'm maybe not the right person to do that. Obviously, I could just like copy and paste something and maybe adapt it to QBASIC compatible code. Okay. Wait a second. Now player death is not being tracked correctly. Well, at least that's some sort of progress. Syntax highlight obviously would improve things quite a bit. But we don't have it here, and in QB64 it produces really a tiny screen. Here I have DOSBOX set to basically magnified 3 times, so you have 3 pixels instead of just 1, which is obviously useful for low resolutions like this one. Oh. No, we're crashing slightly. Okay, so why is it happening? Let me see. Can I do this? Print player Y and player X, and not like this, obviously. So why it is 0, 0? Of course it crashes, because it shouldn't be 0 at all. Is it not getting correct start positions from there? Let me see. I think I had this world something, world player start, right? Oh yeah, of course. I forgot to share a current level, that's why. Yes, sure, and where do we put it? Not with blocks, that's for sure. Shared, what's called that? Was it capitalized or not? I don't remember. Like that. Now it's slightly easier. Now let's see if I can die in a proper way. Whatever that means. So now it's actually partially stuck. Oh, it can run into me, I guess. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. Like, the first part is player movement and the second part is enemy movement, so by the time player moved, it's supposed to be already drawn, but apparently it doesn't happen, so I can check that out. Maybe I'm just having this draw procedure before I'm making AI stuff, and that's probably not even... oh yeah, that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, here, you see, it's not yet drawn, and that's the problem, because we're analyzing the different stuff of so where can I put it? I guess I can just copy it like that. Let me see how it works. Oh yeah, of course, it's different direction. For to make it work, actually, I want to have this here. So the player would be drawn before I will call enemy AI, and I can't place AI here because I want it to be turn-based. So we'll just comment it out for the moment and copy it in 3 different places. To have the correct data for AI analysis. Is that all? Yes, it looks like that. Okay, so can we like finish? Okay, so it plays sound, but it does nothing. So I can run into it. Okay, it will reset. let me see. Here, it's only playing sound when it's supposed to die. Yeah, here. Maybe I don't have player lives. Yeah, sure. Sure, so let's end it here. Now let's see. It explains some stuff, not all stuff. And actually, I won't still have it there, right? Because after I called AI, and my coordinates can be updated. So I want to be able to see myself without movement. So that's still useful. Okay, so now it makes some sense. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. So, something like this. Yeah, we can kill it. Now we just need a sound for, like, enemy dying. That's already quite better. So let's first of all have our sound. Here my little sound engine, kinda. And yeah, I'm not a huge musician, I don't have any music here. These bleeps and bloops. It's something, but not much. So my bleeps or sounds is quite low pitched, and this can be kinda mixed, I guess. Like for example this, and to actually test it I need to add this enemy hurt everywhere. Probably here, since we only move an enemy in enemy AI part. So in every trap, where is it? We add and call. Actually, can we call a procedure inside of a procedure? I'm not sure. Maybe not. It would kinda suck, but that's a good question. Let's test it. So is it sound effects? No, it's play effects. If it's not possible, then I just copy that sound. Of course, that kind of sucks a little bit, but that's just one part of a program, so it's kind of okay-ish. So enemy hurt. Let's copy it. And here, as you can see, we have 4 directions for one part and 4 for other parts, so it's like 8 total. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and here we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's see. Maybe it will not work, I'm not sure. If you can call subroutines like that. Never tried it before. So we have to lure it to... Hey. Can you like... Okay. Let's... Will you, please? I guess that will work. Oh, only partially. Oh, no, I'm stuck. I need to have some sort of space. I could just edit the level specifically to make it work. So that was that sound. Is it okay to you? It's different enough so you wouldn't miss it, I guess. And by the way, I have to add some extra rewards for that, right? Because if you manage to kill the enemy, that's worth at least like 20 points or something like that. Maybe even more. I mean, it just can kill itself. But... yeah. That's quite a bit of progress. It was going not exactly ideal before, and thanks for hosting me, by the way. The chat is not moving quite well fast, so if it's just edit one line of text, I may not notice that someone made some reply or question or something like that, so please forgive me for that. And yeah, Kurt, Dog, thanks for hosting me on your channel. So what did I want to do? And yeah, Ratchet, thanks as well. I'm trying to stream every Saturday and Sunday, because you know, YouTube and Twitch is not my work. I'm not getting any money from that. That's just a hobby. $0 involved. So yeah, I can't dedicate really a lot of time. But I will be streaming tomorrow, and I'll be streaming some Terraria. It's not programming, it's just, you know, game in cooperative mode with Suburban Fox. That's another person, and not from Eastern Europe actually, so it will be in English too. And that will be at 8 p.m. my local time, which is UTC +3 Belarusian time. So, do I want actual rewards for, like... that sort of stuff? Yeah, the thing is that it's quite complicated. You need to read a lot of wiki to know how things work. And I think actually for playing quite a bit of Minecraft for a few years, I think, well, that's actually personal opinion obviously, but I think that Minecraft makes more sense. Like, it's more logical. You can figure stuff out just, you know, by trying to do different stuff. Obviously, you should look into like potion making and stuff like that, but in Terraria it doesn't exactly work like that, and quite a lot of stuff you have to read about. So yeah, that's like you have to spoil yourself to play the game. That's not exactly working super well. That's why I'm thinking about finishing those streams, or maybe I can discuss with the Suburban Fox to switch the game for something else that we both have. So in Terraria we don't have a lot of progress. Yeah, I think I will make bonus enemy, or probably bonus kill, and that will be 50. And I will only add this sort of bonus if you have killed enemy in player hunt mode. That will be more fair than just adding it everywhere. So do I have score synced here? Probably not, so shared player score. I want to have it since I need to process it. And shared bonus kill. And enemy hurt, yeah, here. After you play that, you add the player score equals player score plus bonus kill, and now let's... Yes, I use strings for ASCII characters, so if I would want to switch character, I can just edit a few variables. Well, it's not exactly super useful, because I'm still storing level data as characters, not as level codes, like block codes, because I'm editing it manually in PSPad or other text editor, ASCII text editor, and imagine having just numbers instead of blocks. It wouldn't be very obvious what is doing what. And to edit levels you would need a level editor, which I don't have. So yeah, if I will decide to switch, for example, a block which is representing wall, then I would need to edit all levels. Well, I guess you could just make it with automatic replacement feature in that editor, like in PSPod, and so on. So it's not too messy, not impossible, but not super ideal. But that was the idea, that if I want to have different characters, then I can do it. So higher, right here, and this guy, and this guy. I think that's it. Yeah, I don't want to touch randomized movement, because it's not fair to give a player any points for enemy just accidentally running into a trap. So that's supposed to be it. Now I have to try to lure that guy again. Hey, can you like not kill me? No, it will not move like that in desired way. Yeah, maybe now. Please, please move there. Oh, yeah, that's I think what I want. Yeah, I've got some points for that. That's nice. So yeah, that's quite a bit of progress here. Finally, I have something that is actually playable at this point. I will compile this version and put it later on my website. Right now, on the previous build is available. And I think this time I will actually put the source code as well. And the source code will be available on the terms of Creative Commons attribution share alike. So you can do whatever you want, but you have to let every other person do with your own program based on my program whatever they want, including commercial use. And of course put a link to me and my website and stuff like that. I'm not sure if levels are possible anymore. Oh yeah, I guess they're possible. I haven't tested all of them. Can you pass through levels, get all the stars required to get to L level exit blocks, with enemy actually tracking you this time around? But yeah, that's a good progress, even though it was quite a messy one. And I have an archive uploaded to Mediafire with all the things. I can't call them projects of mine because they're primitive, but you may be amused by them, so I will share it in a moment in chat section if you want to mess with that sort of stuff. So let me switch to probably not like that, but like this, so you would see what's going on, and people on YouTube would see the same thing. I think I can copy it from my own website, right? Yeah, so copy link and yeah, as you can see, Dark Soul, every second level is inspired by retro games, so I've slightly changed levels. Obviously I can't fit everything exactly because I only have 40 by 20 characters of resolution, but they're inspired and I'm not completely copying them, so it's not a copyright infringement. But I have Manic Miner instead of Manic Miner, and it's like almost the first level, not quite, and I have Pac in the Stars with Pac-Man sort of thing, and that sort of stuff. And I believe I have Dig Dug in some sort. You can add your own levels, and so here's speaking as I'm typing a few old things of mine, like a few year old. I fixed them recently with like different notices, so dates of the files, modification dates, are actually more recent than the projects are, but here's stuff with old stuff that's like 40 or 50 megabytes. Mostly Blitz 3D, if you heard about that. And I believe one thing is like Labyrinth Walkie thing, which was never finished because I screwed up party algorithms, enemy party generation and then processing stuff. I wanted to make a program with JRPG mechanics sort of stuff, like moving around, but you'll be able to see it. Maybe I will show you right now if I can capture it in a good way, because that's a full screen application. And the new version of this program will be called Public Alpha 4, Dark Crawler Public Alpha 4. Right now you can only download version 3, but I will put Public Alpha 4 as soon as I can on my website, and you can download straight from my website. As you can see, I've bothered to implement SSL encryption thanks to extremely nice guys from Let's Encrypt initiative or project, and thanks to my web hoster, which has a special thing to automatically prolong those certificates, because they only last for 3 months. So you should only register them once. And if you want to contact me, you can do that on Twitter or via email, which is LastofAvari@lastofavari.com, like you've seen on the program. Can I type an email address? I don't think so, but maybe I can. Yeah, it's like that. It's Yandex mail for domain, because, you know, I know that Yandex is basically a Russian company, but the thing is that Yandex lets you set up an email address on your own domain without you having to pay anything for that. And you can do that with Google, but you have to pay for Google services, like monthly. And I don't want to pay them, like, for just having a domain customized. So yeah, you can set it up, or you can get the instructions on yandex.com if you want to do that. And now I guess I will try to actually show you that XNA project. XNA is Microsoft framework for like doing stuff with DirectX, and the code is in visualbasic.net. I don't believe I have correct source code for that, but I guess we will see. So where do I have it? Extras, Rise of Darkness, A4B, back 5 years ago, and let me launch it and let's see what will happen. So it's not locked. That's nice. That means that I can do that, and maybe I can set property so that to actual rise of darkness, and maybe if I switch now, yeah, so here it is. Copyright isn't correct. I switched my internet name since then, since the story with my nickname, it was Saccharine before, but I switched it to LastofAvari because I wanted to do stuff on YouTube. And Saccharine was already registered on YouTube, so I guess some person was on YouTube with that name before it was bought by Google, because YouTube was initially a separate startup company. So the website is dead because it was like free hosting with terrible quality and stuff. Now I have proper web hosting, hawkhost.com, I believe. So it looks like this. Everything is hand drawn. So yeah, graphics is shitty. It's very basic stuff. I believe I have arrows for movement, but I have actual scrolling here, so level is larger than the screen. And as you can see, to the right there is some sort of info with current party, because character represents the whole party of characters, and I've stole some sort of like statistics from my different older things, and here is fight screen, which doesn't work. I mean, many sort of works, but I couldn't make enemies make sense and behave correctly at that point, so yeah, it's like not working. And like just, yeah, you can't really do anything here. But basically, if the enemy spawns if the area is unsafe. So you see that hostile indicator fight detect number increases by some tiny amount, and when it reaches 8, then it's supposed to trigger that, and it triggers that, and yeah, then you have this menu. Nothing really works, but yeah, it was kinda a little bit, just a tiny bit amusing for the moment being. And I guess I can show you a couple of different things since you are here with yeah, like little work. Okay, so I have to can it? No, it doesn't really work like that. And the volume is probably too loud, so let me add window capture, I guess. Okay. Transform, fit to screen. So yeah, here few different stupid things I've made for my own amusement as well. It's not super complicated, but I was slightly interested in 3D, now I'm mostly doing that YouTube thing, which I'm actually kinda good at, I think. So I figured out, instead of wasting my time and doing basically a good thing to no one, I will do something which could be amusing not only for my stupid mind with YouTube and Twitch videos. But that was what I was doing before YouTube, because I was having shitty internet, like very shitty internet. Obviously I couldn't upload anything, so yeah. That was my way of wasting time, so enough of that. I have a couple more different things, I believe. Hello World version 0.2.8. Yeah. I believe the music is free and copyright is not correct. Or maybe not in this version, I don't remember. Let me check it. I want to be sure. Is it the right one? Oh yeah, it's Rhine, so it's okay. I just haven't fixed this stuff and yeah, little few things more. The music is by Rhine. That's quite a good composer actually. You can Google that name. And now you can move, sorta. And Blitz 3D is based on DirectX 7, so it's kinda shit, and I had no idea at the time how to do jumping mechanics, so you could actually climb higher with diagonal surfaces. So it's really funked up mostly. But if you check textures from the internet and everything is not a model. Oh no. You're thinking too good about me if you think that those are models. Those are just boxes which are scaled in a kinda slicey way, and you can especially notice that I had no idea how to apply different textures to different sides of a primitive figures. So every side is having exactly the same texture, and here it's very compressed because it's like very thin, because it's a wall. And I have these buildings, which I actually made with the one procedure. You can rotate it like 90 degrees. And the plane is endless, the surface, but you are being located inside of a ball, which is almost transparent. I guess you can slightly see that here, right where the cursor is some sort of like curve, and that's the end of the ball, so you wouldn't go too far from that accidentally. That is quite useless and stupid, but yeah, if you want to run it you can, and you can do whatever with that, whatever you want. So you have your links, and thank you for watching. Thank you for trying to enjoy my stupid stream. Let me switch to actual things. As I said earlier, I will be streaming at UTC+3, that is Belarusian, and Belarus is spelled like that. UTC+3, 8 PM. We will be playing some Terraria, probably for the last time, maybe, because I kinda getting sick of Terraria at this point. Because we're not really making any progress, and in Minecraft, quite a huge part of Minecraft for me is to build stuff, and in Minecraft is obviously three-dimensional, so you can do complicated things, and yeah, you are free in what you can do. And in Terraria it's mostly like a monster fighting game with crafting added on top. At least it feels like that to me. But yeah, thank you for watching, and hopefully see you some other time. The executables for the new version will be available later, probably tomorrow, on my website. Thank you. It was a pleasure to stream with you.